What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes, and today is part 2 of a massive HVAC upgrade that we're doing at this home here in Woodmere, New York. We're installing yet another Mikey Pipes private label by ACiQ. On previous installs, we put in 2 Bosch IDS 2.0 premium heat pump systems. Today we're taking out this 3-ton Rheem to match the other ACiQ on the other side of the home, and then at a later date, once massive construction is done at this home, we're going to be putting in a third ACiQ system. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to show you step-by-step tips and techniques on how to get the job done before lunchtime. Let's go. All right, one of the first things we're going to do here is pump down the refrigerant into the condensing coil. I have my JB Just Broke climate class probe on my suction side. I already removed my service port caps. So reading looks like 50.8 psi. I am going to close our liquid line, high pressure valve, and we're going to let the compressor pump down into the condensing coil. That's the goal, at least. So now that valve is closed, and you're going to see our pressure start to drop. So the compressor is compressing the refrigerant into the coil. Now keep in mind, this does not always work. Sometimes the internal bypass of the compressor will take over and it won't let you compress it down. But we're at 6 psi and dropping. I am closing my valve. We're at 2, 1, 1.3. Now we're almost at negative pressure. We're in negative pressure now. I'm still closing my valve. Takes a while. Almost closed. Pop open, pull the power. I've just sucked all of the refrigerant that was in the line set and the evaporator located inside the air handler into the condensing coil. Our recycler, who is also an EPA reclamation site, they will be recovering the refrigerant, reclaiming the refrigerant out of this system before proper disposal. That's up to him. You can bring it back to your shop, recover it into recovery tanks, and dispose according to EPA, but that's how we do it. All right, I am now going to disconnect our electric from our whip to our disconnect. We're going to give them a new disconnect. Looks like this is incoming power, that's incoming power. So we want to disconnect our ground, L1 and L2. All right, my electric is disconnected. Let me remove this clamp from the whip. And there you have it. I just cut the line set now. All right, I disconnected the 3/8 right before the inlet side of the filter dryer. That's the reason why we don't install filter dryers outside, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my days, but checked out the 7/8 to 3/4 to 7/8. That's a great reducing bushing right there. All right, line sets disconnected. I'm gonna clean up that 7/8 and we're gonna reduce down to 3/4 with a ZoomLock reducing coupling. I'm gonna use a 3/8 ZoomLock coupling on that piece of 3/8, and we're gonna follow this line set here, come across, go to here. I laid it out specifically this way for the installation of this unit right here. Full disclosure, Juneteenth. Hope you all having a great Juneteenth. I know all of us are working. The only people who aren't working is the banks, the government, and stock market. The banks, yeah. See, we're working. Juneteenth. See, 9, 8 o'clock in the morning, getting it done. All right, we're up in the attic. Daniel and Derek. Mike's here, by the way. The 3 of them got rid of the air handler and the cased hydronic coil. We have some ducts disconnected from another system that we installed. A lot of room up here. Nice OSHA-approved plywood. We're going to use the pipe wiper because we're changing from R22 to an A2L refrigerant. We're going to get this piece on here one-handedly. And then we're going to use some nitrogen to blow a little piggy, which looks like, I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? Looks like these bad boys. And that's going to wipe all the oil residue on the inside of the pipe. All right, so we have our nitrogen tank and hose connected. The other mic is going outside, and he's going to catch the piggies. He's going to call me once he gets out there. You need a hand with that?
Yeah.
No? Okay. So they're bringing up the air handler in pieces. It's easier to remove the coil from the case. And it had to be flipped anyway for different orientation. Left to right, up, down, discharge, upflow, downflow. We're going to answer the phone. Hi.
Hey, I'm here.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's open up the nitrogen. And here comes the first one. Let me know when you get it.
It's out.
Okay. Now, how does it look? Does it look full of oil?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to put another one in now. And we're going to repeat the process until it's clean. All right, new piggies in there. You ready for the next one?
Yep. See her.
Excellent. Does it look better or still full of oil?
Still full of oil.
Okay, we're going to keep repeating the process. I got more piggies. And the next. So we're going to remove the hose. We're going to remove this piece right here. We're going to put the piggy in there. We'll put our cap back on. We're going to put that there. Okay. Here comes the third. Got it?
Yeah, that was a lot better, but there's still a little bit of oil dripping.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. This one's going to be a little too small. This is the one I want to use right here. Okay, shove that in there. Okay. Daniel, I have the welding supply company coming tomorrow.
Okay.
So they'll replace everything. Here comes the next one. Got it? How's that one look?
Still a little bit of oil on it.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna do another. We'll see how this, I think this is number 7. We'll see how this one is. Hopefully we're good. But here we go.
You usually end up through the box. Yeah. The cardboard box.
Got it?
The hydraulic oil in it. That's what
Yeah.
we do first.
How's it look?
There's oil residue on it.
Okay, let me see.
I didn't care about any drips or anything coming out of the pipe.
No, the drip should be long gone, but you know the piggy should feel like dry-ish at this point.
No, it's oily.
All right, so here's another one. This one's like fully dry.
But is it the pig or is it the bag that's oily, like the net?
No, but is it the net that's oily or is it the piggy that's oily?
No, it's the piggy. I mean, the back side of it is
Okay.
oil.
All right, here's another one. We're gonna run on nitrogen. When we have to use some other inert gases like refrigerant. Well, they say A2L is a safe refrigerant now, right? Why can't we use that to purge? No, I'm just saying, let's keep it real, right? We don't purge with refrigerant because it contains ozone-depleting compounds, but now this A2L refrigerant does not contain ozone-depleting compounds. It still does.
It just contains less.
I know, that's some bullshit. You ready, Mike?
Yep.
All right. How's that?
Not looking too bad. I mean, it's pretty clean, but there's still a little bit of oil, not too much. I'll bring it up to you. I'll show you.
Okay. All right, bring those two up to me. Their automatic tubing bender is too expensive. Makes no sense. All right, we're gonna dry fit this bad boy. There. Motherfucker. Oh, sorry. We'll bleep up that part. Okay. Wow. So now I'm gonna put another bend over there, and we're gonna connect to that. So we'll I don't know, we'll figure this out. I need 2 more bends to go to that 7/8. Yeah. Okay, and there's plenty on there to make that little turn right there. There you go. Okay, look at that. Wow, we did it. By the sheer grace of God. That's the only reason why it's working. So now that we did the 3/4 into the 7/8, after getting rid of all that oil, the other mic is going to demonstrate the use of the pipe straightener. Ooh. All right, so take that thingamajiggy, shove it in the hole, and just slide right in there, like a train on a trolley. Hold on, I don't want to get any dirt in it. There you go, keep going, and look at that. It's a little bit curved for her pleasure, but your sister never complains. The 3/8 soft tube pipe straightener. Look at that.
They only made it for kids.
Well, I think in the state of Tennessee now, they don't allow that anymore. Now the Supreme Court voted on that. I don't want to bring in politics into this channel, but let's just say God created man and woman, and a preteen or a teen is not capable of deciding if he wants to change his sex or she wants to change her sex. Let's just keep it at that. But and once they're older, and listen, if you can't buy a pack of cigarettes or drink beer, forget about going into the army. But if you can't smoke a pack of cigarettes or buy a pack of cigarettes or drink beer, you shouldn't be allowed to change your gender. Just saying. We're gonna leave it at that for right now. Okay. We just used the pipe straightener. We're going to connect to this 3/8 connection. I'm gonna try to do what we did over here and connect to that piece of 3/8 coming out right over there. Wish us luck. All right, folks, it is 10/18, still Thursday, the Juneteenth. Here, June 19, 2025. Oh, the nerve of these trucks making all this noise while I'm trying to create content. I'm just finishing up the whip for line voltage going to the unit. I have L1, L2, ground. I have 2 wires going to S1, S2. This is our communication wire going from our indoor unit. What's great about the ACiQ Extreme Plus systems is that I can communicate with 2 wires between the indoor and outdoor unit, the indoor unit and the thermostat, all 3 Or I can do regular, 5, 6 wires, R, C, W, Y, G, OB, missing a common, right? Or I can just run 2 wires to my outdoor unit. I can use the existing thermostat if I want to. For example, this customer has an EcoBee. They want to keep it. We're letting them keep it. So I have my line voltage. Let me go flip onto the other side here. I'll show you what I did. By the way, both these Bosch IDS 2.0s are running 100%, by the way. You hear that? No, you don't. You're not going to hear the ACiQ either. Okay, follow this right here. So on my left is my Liquid-Tight, half-inch Liquid-Tight. I mounted it to the Unistrut, 1.5 Unistrut that I installed a few years ago, where I planned that we're going to be replacing that unit with another Bosch, but I lined up my Unistrut when I did these two, just so everything's nice, neat, and organized. So I'm utilizing my existing Unistrut as a chaseway for my line set and my Liquid-Tight. So my Liquid-Tight's containing my communication wire. And I'm gonna take some electrical putty and jam that in there. My 3/8, got a ZoomLock fitting there, as you saw earlier, across and to my flared connection. And the same thing with my 3/4 to the 3/4, the 7/8 to 3/4 inch ZoomLock coupling right there. I think it looks great. I used some UV rated zip ties to zip tie all that together right here. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is that where my Kindorf clamp meets my 3/8, I wrap that with some electric tape just to protect it over there as well. And to beefing this up a little bit, I wrap some electric tape around my Liquid-Tight. So it looks great. I think I did a great job. Let me get your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below. Oh, this didn't make its way back to where it belongs, and neither did this. If you don't put things back exactly where they belong, you're gonna lose things, and they're not gonna be where you need them next time you use them. This is looking great, by the way. This is looking great. Amazing, literally amazing. What's even more crazy is how much more features, how many more features are in my Mikey Pipes by ACiQ Extreme Plus system versus the Bosch. Now, all 3 of these systems, they're all inverter technology. All right, so we're going to throw in a surge protector on this one as well. But what's incredible with the ACiQ, a truly communicating system. It's amazing. Guys, if you are an HVAC dealer, installer, and you want to have a cost-effective solution for your end users, you too can have your own private label equipment at a fraction of the price of a Carrier Infinity, and significantly cheaper than the Bosch IDS premium line. It's amazing. Communicating, private label, amazing tech support from the manufacturer, right? 7-year parts, 12-year compressor. Bundle this with an extended parts and labor warranty from like JB Warranties or AIG, and it's a win-win situation for all parties involved. It's amazing. All right, let me finish wiring up my line voltage to my disconnect, and then we're gonna start vacuuming down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 11 o'clock. Sure is the smart way to buy an AC. 100% correct. Why spend tens and thousands of dollars on high-end equipment made in the same plant when you can get something at a fraction of the price with more features and benefits? Anyway, it's 11 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. I got my Fieldpiece VPX7 6 CFM vacuum pump hooked up. We are already in 5,000 microns. It's been just moments. I'm only using one hose. I just changed out of this piece, which looked kind of sus. I have a new connector on there, a new connector on there. I'm at 3,800 microns and dropping. Amazing, literally amazing. Now, just one bit of advice: when you are vacuuming down on a newly commissioned system, new install, or you're working on it, shutting it down, you got to power up the air handler for a second to get the electronic expansion valve to open up. Otherwise, you're only going to be pumping down one side of the system, and it's going to take you forever. Just FYI. I'm just going to do a quick little test. Still dropping. Look at that, baby. That's slowly increasing now, but we're good. Now, we did a lot of pigs during the flushing process with the pipe wiper system, and off camera we also used the X11 or X13 flush that helps dissolve the R22 refrigeration oils that were present in the line. Now, so many piggies we sent down this line, and the only thing that makes sense is that somehow they created a trap here, but it's not. It just goes straight down, and I just don't get it. Why there is so much oil there. It's like it's trapped somewhere, and we kept flushing. I went through two bottles of nitrogen before it finally became clear, but I'm happy now. It looks great. The Mikey Pipes by ACiQ, a great addition. A great addition to the 3-system lineup right here. Awesome. Really awesome. Don't forget, ACiQ.com/Mikey Pipes. If you want to become an ACiQ dealer, it's a no-brainer, guys. It is 11:33. We're at 2100 microns. It's fighting. It's really struggling to get below 2000. I hit 2000, I go up a little bit, I go down a little bit. So we're dealing with some moisture in the line, probably some just pockets of moisture that just, as it boils off, when you're in a vacuum, when you have any kind of water vapor in a vacuum, it's going to boil off and it's going to expand like 40,000 times. So it's kind of expected, especially when in an older system. God knows what's been added over the years, but we did a great job with the pipe wiper and the system flush with the chemical. Right now I'm just taking a break. I folded the box up, using that as a chair in the shade here, and I'm just going through some text messages with our voice over IP system, and I come across these 2 text messages, and I just want to take a moment to just recognize and speak about how easily it is to get scammed, where you're going to get financially hurt if you're not vigilant and do your due diligence. Let me show you an example right now. So I get this text message from this 908 number. Hello, hi, I'm Kevin Smith. By name. I need plumbing services in my house. When will you be available to handle the job? Next 2-week Friday. Here is the 17 West Avenue, Lawrence. All right, and I'm like, this guy can't even speak proper English, but nonetheless, I respond. Hello, Kevin Smith. My name is Nigel. What kind of plumbing services do you require? Unfortunately, Friday, 6/27 is not available. Now, I know it's a scam, and then when I see the next message, let me show you this one. Same number. Hello, I'm Kevin Smith by name. I need a plumbing services in my house. When will you be available to handle the job? Next 2-week Friday. Here is the 62 Beverly Parkway, Freeport. Greetings, Mr. Smith. Yes, we are available. How may we help you? Now, what I'm hoping will happen is that I am going to waste this person's time, where he is not going to spend less time dedicated to scamming other people, because I'm sure there's going to be a plumbing contractor out there or an HVAC contractor out there that's going to respond to this, right? Especially if it's a little quiet, the schedule's a little light. He's going to look at this, and then he's going to engage in a text conversation with this guy. And I can predict exactly what's going to happen next, and I'll show you on the next on the next videos or later on in this video if I get a response from him. But basically, I am going to tell him that, hey, you know what? We charge $500 an hour. There's a $200 trip charge, and he's going to say, okay, I'm going to send you a check, a cashier's check, and I'm going to waste his time. He's going to probably use FedEx or UPS, DHL. He's going to overnight me a check, probably in a scam account. I'm going to get this check, and I'm going to waste his time, and he's going to be engaged in with me and not scamming someone else. But absolutely, I am going to entertain Mr. Smith, Mr. Kevin Smith. It's not his name, by the way. He's probably in Nigeria somewhere, sucking on his whatever, and I'm wasting his time. But guys, when you see bullshit like this, and I'm sorry to drop a little curse word there, apologies. Don't get caught up in these scams, because what will happen is if you take this cashier's check and you deposit it, right, and then it's like, oh, I sent you too much, and he goes, send me back like $700 or $1,000 or whatever, and then when a week later when the check bounces, right, return for a fraudulent check or insufficient funds or whatever the nonsense is, right? Now you're out that money, especially if you send him some money. So be careful out there, guys. All right, it's 11:41. Let's go see what the micron gauge is at. Yeah, still struggling. 2070. She's really struggling there. I do have the gas ballast closed. If I close my valve, we don't go up. It's good, but it's hard. It's hard. We're pulling that vacuum here, and it's a challenge. It really is. You may want to purge some nitrogen through it, but the joys of doing an install and proper commissioning. You know, it's crazy. I've interviewed several guys in the last couple weeks, and one of the questions I asked is, okay, so when you're vacuuming down a system, what micron level do you go down to? Guys, it's a question on the EPA exam. The minimum industry standard is 500 microns. If you're not doing that, you shouldn't be touching this stuff. Just keeping it real. Daniel's gonna throw some water into the return on the coil. We're gonna watch water go down that drain. Hopefully see it. There we go. See? You guys didn't see it, you guys are blind. 12:30. Damn, that is hot. Hot mama. She's beautiful. I even took some threaded rod, bolted it into the ground, into the slab. I could have done all four, but keeping it real, I only did two. It's not going anywhere. We don't have hurricane rules like they do down south in Florida. Hurricane straps and earthquake straps, and we don't have any codes regarding it to be secured, actually, because we don't have a state license for HVAC. But this Mikey Pipes by ACiQ private label 3-ton inverter side discharge outdoor unit with the indoor air handler, looking epic. Looking epic. Guys, remember aciq.com/Mikey Pipes. Tell them I sent you. They'll give me an attaboy. What are you waiting for? Step into the 21st century. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area and you're tired of getting bamboozled by your HVAC contractor, you need to pick up the phone and call me. 516-348-6300. Or save time. Book online at pipedoc.net. What are you waiting for? If you want any stickers like this, email me, mike@mikeypipes.com. One more thing. It's 12:30. We started at 7:45. Epic.